Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out One Earth, the board game. This game supports 1 to 5 players. It's for ages 14 and up, and the average playtime is 20 to 40 minutes. So this just came in the mail, and we're going to check it out in a solo playthrough today. I will warn you folks, this rulebook is just not organized very well. I will do my best to get all the rules right, but as I always say, I'm here to spread awareness and have some fun, but if I get a rule wrong or two, I apologize, but that's just usually the way it is with me. So the reason I say that is because this game has so many exceptions depending on player count. There is a standard mode and an advanced mode. The standard mode is only applicable for 3 to 5 players. So if you're hoping to play a more casual game with 1 or 2 players, no, you're not going to do it. The advanced mode is 1 to 5 players. Now, in addition to all of that, the rulebook is set up in such a way to where anything with this little plus sign and the red rectangular box, those are the changes that you'll be making to the advanced game. So anything with a plus in here is like, okay, this is for the advanced game. And then on top of that, you'll see a little 3+ meeple symbols next to some of these that indicate this is how you set up the game, or this is how you play the game based on 3+ players. So this rulebook is just full of exceptions, and trying to locate something specific in here is incredibly frustrating and difficult. Even the reference card is no help. In the back of the rulebook, there are directions for 1 to 2 players and how to set everything up, but you have to first set up the game on the other pages, and then you come here, and then you remove and add and everything else. And then there's a how to play section for 1 to 2 players here. And then this is how the game ends with 1 player and 2 players, and 1 player game end scoring is over here. It's just like they've crammed 3 or 4 different ways to play into one rulebook and didn't organize it very well. I would have preferred like 3 or 4 rulebooks. Just give me everything I need to know if I'm playing it this way. Give me everything I need to know, play it this way. Instead, I have to like try and find and pick out what I'm looking for based on the mode that I'm currently playing. It's just very frustrating. Even the reference card is no help. So if I flip this over to the opposite side, the advanced game even says, see rulebook page 16. So you've got end game information here for the standard game, but when it comes to the advanced game, you have to refer back to the rulebook. So even the reference card doesn't want to help you. On the 1 to 2 player game, half of this is useless, because in a 1 or 2 player game, the only thing that you do is pass the first player token clockwise. All of these cards over here are not used in a 1 or 2 player game. So this is like all of these cards are not going to be used here. These are all the cards that are not going to be used in a 1 or 2 player game. There is a sanction card, pretty much like the player that is emitting the most pollution in this game, or global emissions, will be sanctioned if the global emissions marker is past a certain point, and they suffer penalties for doing so. There is a voting system in this game, and there are voting markers in the box for that, but again, in a 1 or 2 player game, it doesn't matter. There is a UN council that can be held by the players, but again, in a 1 or 2 player game, none of these will exist. Okay, so all of those are gone, and then there are like events, warning events, and critical events. That's if the global emissions reach a certain point on the track, but again, we're not going to use them for a 1 or 2 player game. So it's just like, again, all of these different exceptions make learning this game incredibly frustrating. So I know I've complained for the last 3 minutes, but I had to get that off my chest because I'm not happy with how they decided to lay everything out. The game itself seems to be fairly simple in that there is a prosperity track, which is the inside track here, and that's actually good for you. That's like your income. You want to try and increase this as much as possible so that you can earn income, and players start the game with 7 in the advanced game and I think 5 in the standard game. But you're going to be using this currency to pretty much purchase these cards here. These are projects, and these projects will grant you prosperity and emissions. Emissions are bad. There's a separate track for that, and that's what this outside track is all about. Whenever you have to increase emissions, you're going to increase your personal emissions marker and the global emissions marker. And the game will end if it ever gets to a certain point. There's also some other end game conditions, but again, that is dependent on, are you playing the basic or the advanced game? Are you playing one or two players? You know, it's just, I'm going to have to look at this when it comes time to actually do that. So when this reaches a certain point, that could be a trigger for the end of the game. In the solo and two-player game, you are playing against the military general. And you can't be a diplomat. There are other leaders that you could pick as your own personal character, but you are not allowed to be the diplomat in a one or two player game. I guess it's due to balance reasons, but anyway. And you obviously cannot be the military general. In the two-player game, the military general does not have any markers out here, but will mess with the cards on the array and increase global emissions. Whereas in a one-player game, he does have a prosperity marker, and it will go up the track, and you're trying to beat his prosperity by having the most points. Prosperity or income is also victory points in this game. But you are facing against the military general in the solo and second or two-player game, and there's an Atama deck here, and these are labeled 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to shuffle them and pile them appropriately. And these cards will contain instructions on what to do. This simply means remove these cards from the project row. So it says numbers 2 and 4. So I would remove numbers 2 and 4 from here. That's just his way of messing with us. In a two-player game, he reduces global emissions by 1. In a one-player game, we follow this. Global emissions goes up by 1. He also gains 5 prosperity points. There is a 4 victory points here. That is for the 3 different difficulties that are in the solo mode. And the easy mode and the medium mode, you ignore the victory points listed here. All he scores in the easy game is whatever he earns in prosperity. In the medium game, he'll earn extra points for discarding certain cards, if he's lucky enough to get certain cards. Every card is like belonging to a particular, I guess, class of sorts. And in the hard game, you take all of that and this number here, add them up, and he gets a higher score, obviously. So that is what the solo Atama deck will be doing. He'll be earning prosperity in the solo game, trying to get victory points, and I'll be trying to beat him in doing that. As I mentioned, there are project cards that we can spend money on. And as I already showed you, there's the missions and the prosperity that we earn. The cost of the card is up here, so this one's worth 5, and this is the class of that particular card. This is ignored in the standard game, and there's just a blurb down here that you can ignore. It's just flavor text that you can read if you so choose to. Certain cards will increase emissions by a lot, and other cards will reduce them. It all depends. There's also a technology deck. Rather than dealing so many out to form a pool, whenever you want to build one of these cards, you freely look through the entire deck, all of these cards, and then you build the one you want. In the standard game, you just build the technology and you attach it to a project you already have out. In the advanced game, you can attach one card to 2 projects that you have in front of you. You can even attach it to one, and then on a future turn, attach another project to it, and then there's your 2. So yeah, different technologies will require different things. Can be used on farm. So I could only use this agritech technology on a farm. This will double the project's prosperity. Carbon capture can only be used on oil industry, the coal power plant, and gas-fired power plant. Reduces the project's emissions by 2. So you can use technology to make your existing project cards better. There's also climate policy cards. And again, you're going to look through these whenever you want to build one and just pick one to build. These just typically reduce emissions. It doesn't look like there's any special abilities on these. It's just, for 3, I can reduce player and global emissions by 1. For 6, I can reduce player and global emissions by 2. Having never played the game, I don't know if there's any special chaining between this and this. It's just, you could have named these anything. It doesn't matter. It's just -1, -2, and -3. It doesn't seem like there's any special rhyme or reason or anything else other than just pay money to reduce the or reduce the emissions, just a flat emissions minus. So anyway, I already mentioned leaders. In the advanced game, not the standard game, you will get to pick a leader, and again, certain leaders are barred from a 1 or 2 player game. Some of these have one-off abilities that can only be used once per game, and other ones can be used during the game. My scientist, just because I like the color blue, each technology you fund earns you 1 currency, max 2 per round, plus 2 VP for each technology you funded at the end of the game. So I'm going to be earning more victory points the more technology I fund, and that's the kind of way I like to roll anyway, so I'll probably do that. The game, this is something I do appreciate. The game had no plastic baggies. I know I complain about not having plastic baggies, and I'm still going to complain about that. But in order to save the planet, they included no plastic. Everything is like wooden, and you've got these bags here, which is nice. So there's no plastic baggies whatsoever. I know they're convenient, but I like the statement that they're trying to make. So these are the extra cards, again, that we're not using in our current playthrough. Again, 1 or 2 player games, you will never see these ever again. So kind of misleading on the Kickstarter page. I was expecting all of those things, but I guess I didn't either read enough on the Kickstarter page or they just didn't disclose that information. Okay, so let's get started. Again, this reference card is somewhat not helpful, but we're going to do our best just to sort of go through it and work around it. This is my first time attempting the game. The first thing we do is earn currency equal to your prosperity. We, in a single-player game, and in the advanced game, I should say, we start with 0 currency. In the standard game, we will draw a random project, and that is our starter project. Whatever the emissions are and the prosperity is on that starter card is what we would set our prosperity and emissions. But in the advanced game, everyone starts at 0. They do not get a free project to start with. So we're gonna ignore that, earn currency, because we're at 0 right now. The AI also starts at 0 depending on difficulty. It could be 0, 3, or 5, I think it was, depending on difficulty level. The global emissions, again, will start on a different space depending on standard game, advanced game, how many players, it'll change. So we're just going to spend currency, and all you're going to do there is look at the row and see what we want to purchase. I'm going to look at, say, the school here. I want to keep my emissions below 5, I believe it was, as a special rule in the solo version of the game, which is here. At the start of your turn, if your emissions are above 5, you lose a prosperity. If they're above 7, you lose 2. This happens before you earn income. So I want to try and keep my emissions below 5 so I don't have to lose prosperity. So I want to buy whatever is going to keep my emissions down. This solar plant is also looking pretty nice. This will give me 2 prosperity and 0 emissions, and it's for 5. This one costs 5 as well, so I don't understand why I would pick the school over, it doesn't make any sense. Why would I pick one and not the other? Is this balanced? Oh, all right. So, it just makes sense. Maybe there's a technology for the school that makes it better after a while. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the large solar plant. And I have to pay 5 for that. Yeah, so I'm just going to put that off to the side, and I'll go ahead and pull out some of this currency off to the side as well. Denominations come in 1, 2, and 5. Okay. So that's 1 there, and let's see. I've got 2 left. Is there a technology that I could buy for 2? It doesn't look like it. No. Okay. So yeah, all of these are 3 and up, so I can't do that. I also have to adjust my prosperity up to 2. And with 2, this is 5, 4, 4, 5. This is 2. This farm. Yep. So that is 1 food and 1 emissions. So I think, just for the sake of getting my prosperity as high as possible, as early as possible, I'll spend my last 2 to buy this card as well. And you can buy as many cards as you want from any of these 3 decks So as long as you've got the currency to pay for it. So I increase my prosperity to 3 and global emissions to 1, along with my personal emissions to 1. Anytime you increase personal, you also increase this. In theory, the global emissions is equal to everyone's emissions. But for the sake of the Atama deck, he doesn't have his own emissions that we're tracking. He'll just tell us when to increase it. So there we go. So we're going to put that into our Tableau as well. And that will end that. Now, in a standard game, depending on, again, 3 players plus, there's a sanction card past the first player, check global emissions, and possibly draw a warning or a critical event, propose resolution and vote on it, advanced mode only. Just, there's so many exceptions. But none of that is applicable here for, when you start a new round for single and second player. In a second player game, the only thing you'll do is pass the first player token clockwise. All of this other stuff is ignored. Okay, so now we're going to resolve the Atama deck, and it just goes back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, doing that. So we're going to draw this, and it's telling us to, I guess I should refill that. Okay, so it's telling us to remove 2 and 3 from here. So these are gone. Fine, I'm just going to replace them real quick. Okay, and in a solo game, it looks like emissions go up by 3, 1, 2, 3. And his prosperity goes up by 2 points, so he's up to here. And that is his entire turn. So I'm just going to put that off to the side there. And now we will take our turn again. And again, we get to earn some currency. So we get, looks like 3 money. So we'll do that. So the question is, do we want to possibly get a technology? Because according to our science, every technology you fund earns you 1 currency. So I kind of want to get this so I can increase the benefits of this ability and these things. So is there something that's worth 3 in here? Solar power plant is worth 3. Enhanced energy out. Okay, these are the same card. Although this is a 4 and that's a 3. So what's the difference? So wait, enhanced energy output. This is a 4 and this is a 3, but what's the difference between these 2 cards? Oh, I can use them on these things as well, I assume. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Doubles the project's prosperity. So I'm going to spend 3 on that, and I'm going to attach it to my large solar power plant, which is this one here. And again, in an advanced game, I can attach 2 things to this technology, or to this card, or 2 projects to a technology. A card can never have 2 technology on it, but in the future, if I get another project that meets this requirement, I can also attach it here and get the benefits. So even though I didn't get a project this turn, I spent some money and I'm going to double. It says doubles the project's prosperity. So this is technically 4 now. So I'm going to go an additional 2 up here. So I got 4 from this card and 1 from this card. I did not gain any emissions, which is exactly what I want. And I'm going to have to remember from here on out that because I've got a technology, I'm going to earn an extra 1 currency, maximum of 2 per round. So that's not terrible. So now I can't do anything else. The AI is going to draw a card, and he's going to remove cards 1, 4, and 6 from the display. So 1, 4, and 6. Okay, and these are gone. Put them off to the side, I guess. All right, I'm just going to fill them back up for now so I don't have to do it later. All right. And it wants me to remove a random technology. So I'm going to just shuffle these up. Hopefully it's not something I'm using. Carbon capture can only be used on oil industries, coal power plants, and gas-fired. That's actually kind of good because I don't plan to buy those anyway. So this is gone from the game, and we'll do that. The rest of his card reads, for a single player, the emissions go up by 4? Really? Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. He really likes to try and... we need to reduce that if possible. He also gets 1 prosperity point, so he's up to 3. But that is it. So I'm a little concerned about this whole emissions thing. I don't like the fact that it's quickly getting its way up to 30. We need to stop that from happening. It's an instant loss for me if that does happen. So on my turn, I'm going to gain some currency. So I have 5 here plus 1 for having a technology is 6. So I'm going to gain 6 money. And with that 6 money, I feel like I want another solar plant. There's a wind farm, which isn't bad. The wind farm can be placed here, and that will double the output, which is kind of good. The other thing is I kind of want another technology card that I can maybe attach to this farm. I know there's something for the farm because I used it as examples. Let's see here. Agritech. Doubles the project's prosperity, can be used on farm. That would be double of 1 is 2. That would be 3 money. There's no other farm out here right now, so it really doesn't matter. I kind of want to wait until I get something better than the wind farm, to be honest with you. Because I want to attach like the solar plants here, which offer more prosperity. So as for the rest of this, I kind of want to maybe I will play this. I'm going to do 3 money. I'll make change. And I will play the Agritech and attach it to my farm. That will double the prosperity of this farm. So I'm up to 6 now. 4 for this one, because this is double. 2 for this one, because this is double. But I'm going to gain an extra currency, 2 extra currency now from here on out, because I've got 2 technology. And these come back. And I still have 3 money to spend. I could buy the wind farm just to up my... I kind of want to wait for another solar plant, but I don't know when it's going to come up. Another thing to consider is I'm only producing 1 emissions right now. Do I dare go for a car that's really polluting, but yeah, maybe we stay clean. I think we should stay clean. This is 3 prosperity, but 4 emissions. That's a gas-fired plant. You know what? Let's do it. As much as I want to wait for a solar plant, there's no guarantee it'll come up and I'll get it. So I'm going to spend 3 money on this, and that's going to slide under here. That's worth 2 prosperity instead of 1. So I'm now up to 8 prosperity. Okay, that's not terrible. We're going to refill that. But I am out of things to do, so the AI is going to draw a card from his Automa deck, and he's going to remove cards 6 and 5 from the tableau, which are these 2 over here. Large Ranch and Electric Vehicle Factory are gone. I'm just going to replace those real quick. There's a hospital. And for the solo, it goes up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he gets 3 victory points. 1, 2, 3. All right, and that is it for him. All right, so we're back to income. Let's see how much I get. I'm going to get 8 income plus 2 because I've got 2 technology, so I have 10. So I'll do something like that and that. So now I've got 10 currency to spend. All right, that's not terrible. We want to get to 30 as quickly as possible without increasing our emissions past 5. This farm is cool because even though it increases my emissions by 1, I can attach it to this Agritech card, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pay 2 for this farm. Did I ever pay on that other farm? I may have. That's all right. 2 currency, and I'm going to buy that. That increases my global emissions by 1 and extension that by 1. But my prosperity goes up by 2 instead of 1 because, yeah. So, yeah, that's good, and my prosperity went up. But this tech is now dealing with these 2. This tech is dealing with these 2, so I cannot attach any more projects to these particular technologies. So I'm going to have to get more technology in the future if I want to do that. Oh, there's that nuclear power plant. You know what? I get victory points at the end of the game for having more technologies. Is there something in here? Mixed use building, hotel, mall. There's this enhanced energy output for the nuclear power plant. I kind of like that. Anything reduces the project's emissions by 2. So I'm really tempted to get this enhanced energy output for 4. That would give me, what, 1 and change, and then I'd have 4 left, and I could, that's worth, what, 6? Ugh, that's 6. That's a long shot. It's possible that I could buy this and then never see anything else on this. Green buildings, is there something cheaper I can do? Is there a gas-fired in here? The gas-fired is a lot. It produces 4 emissions. I would reduce it by 2 if I put this technology on it, but 4 plus 4 is 8. I have enough to do that, but the question is, do I want to go up by 2 emissions? I think I may have to start doing that. But the thing is, again, if I'm over 5 here, I lose prosperity. So I don't know if I kind of think clean is the way to go here, in my opinion. That hospital, is there an upgrade for that hospital over there? The hospital is worth, okay, it costs 5 to construct this. Is there a technology in here for 3 for hospitals? It doesn't look like it. Fossil fuel car factory, electronics, clothing, ship, building dock. The metro network, is there a metro network in here? I don't see that in here either. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to buy that one technology, and yeah, before it gets removed from the game, I'm gonna buy this for 4 and hope to get this in the future. So there's 5, I'm down to 1. I'm gonna just put this over here for now, and I will attach stuff to it as I can afford to. Do I want another technology? Based on what's out here. Yeah. I'm thinking I need to keep my income going. I need to keep the prosperity moving forward. This metro network will cost me 4, and I've got that. It's going to increase my emissions by 1, but my prosperity will go up by 2. That's a very tempting thing. Mixed use building, that's a 2 and a 2. That's not very helpful there. The metro network and the hospital are like, this is 4 and that's 5. You know what? Just to keep this game moving, I will go ahead and purchase with 4 the metro network. And that is going to increase my prosperity by 2 and global emissions and my personal emissions by 1. So it's up to 14. If this reaches 30, then game over. So I really need to start buying some of these climate policies that will reduce emissions, but they're super expensive. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the Atoma step. And he removes cards 3 and 5. All right, so 3 and 5 are gone. And he's going to remove a random technology and a random climate card. So we're going to just shuffle these up. That's why I'm trying to buy these early, because I know he's going to get rid of them. Green buildings, great. That's not something I really wanted because I want green stuff. And he's going to remove one of these as well. All right. So he's removing reforestation, -1 player and global emissions. Okay, so that's one of the cheaper ones. I'm going to put that off to the side there. We're going to refill that. All right, now for the rest of the card, he is going to increase global emissions by 2. So he's up to 16, and he gets 4 of these victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like how quickly he's moving up. This is a tier 2 card. All right, so I'm going to earn some stuffs. I get 12 here, and just to make sure I've got that all tracked correctly, this is going to be 4, and that's 2, that's 6. And then this is 8, 10, 12, which is where we're at. Great. And then I get 2 extra currency for the for the science benefit. So I'm going to get 14. I guess I'll put them here. I'm running out of room. So there's 14. And I think I need a huge push. I'm going to use 6 of that on this nuclear plant and attach it to this technology I bought before. You know what? I wasn't allowed to do that. I was not. Okay, so it's in the rules that you have to attach it to one existing project that is out there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, I paid for this last turn. So I'm going to pretend like I just bought it now and it just came out. And that, well, I've bought this first and then attach it to this. I know it's kind of cheating. Here, I'll just do that. That's fine. Just to make it official, I'll pay $6 for this. Put it here, and that's 2. Okay, I need 1 and change. And my prosperity goes up by 2. 1, 2. Emissions do not go up at all. Now I'm going to use the money that I spent last turn to buy that technology. Luckily, it would not have gotten removed. I think there's actually 2 in here. Yeah. So even if the AI had removed, well, actually, no, there's no way he could have removed 2 of these cards. So I would have had 1 left anyway, even if he was lucky enough to get rid of it. So I don't think anything was really lost there. But anyway, we're just kind of doing things out of order. All right, so I'm going to attach it to this card, and I can still attach one more thing to it. And that doubles the output, prosperity output of this card. So I get 4 or 2 more of that, all without raising emissions. That's really good. And I kind of want to get global emissions under control. So is there something I can spend 7 on? That's 9. That's 6. I can reduce emissions by 2. I think I might do that. Or do I save up and just buy the 3s on a future turn? That might be more efficient. Let's see if there's anything I can do to... Can I add something to this? There's a wind farm that I could attach here. Or do I wait for another one? That's very tempting. This is worth 3. Yeah. I'm going to spend 3 to buy this wind farm and attach it here. And that's going to give me double the output. So that's going to be 2 more prosperity. And I go up 1, 2. And that's all without increasing my emissions. So I'm going super clean energy right now. I still have 5 money left. Oh, there's a solar power plant. It's only going to give me 1 anyway. That is worth 3. I think I'm going to buy that and then go for that other card. So I'm going to spend 3 to buy this. And I've got 2 left. Okay, so I go up by 2, right? No, 1. I go up by 1 and no emissions. And that's all I can do. Yeah, there's nothing else I can do. Okay, so the AI is going to go. And he's going to remove cards 2 and 4 and remove a random technology. Hopefully it's not the one that I'm looking for in there that I'm going to purchase on my next turn. 2 and 4 are gone. All right, and he's also going to remove a random technology. There's a 1 in 3 chance that he'll remove the one I'm looking for, and enhanced energy efficiency. Okay, that's not the one I wanted, which is good. So anything related to these things are going to be gone. Okay, and he's going to increase emissions by 3. 1, 2, 3. And he gets 3 victory points, so 1, 2, 3. Hopefully I've been keeping up with that. There's also a way to check. I mean, I could just, that's 2, 3, 6, 10, 13. He should be, yeah, he's on 13, exactly. Okay. I don't know why you just couldn't use a marker to track emissions as well, just to make sure that you're doing it correctly, and then just subtract out any climate cards that you've bought. Anyway, so for my turn, I am going to earn some income. Now I am on 19, assuming I've added everything right, and I get 2 more, so I get 21, and I'm throwing stuff. So that's 10. This is, I need more 5s. 15, 21. All right, now is the time to start, I think, moving this emissions backward, because it's going quick. But I need to keep my emissions moving forward too. All right, I'm going to use 9 of it to bring this back by 3 and this back by 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's back on 0, and I'm going to direct air capture. So I'm going to spend 10, get 1 and change, and use this climate card to do that. Hopefully that'll give me some leeway to do other things. Okay, what do I want to do from here? I'm trying to increase my prosperity as quickly as possible. Was he on 13? I guess I'll have to re-add that. I'm pretty sure it was 13. 3, 6, 10, 13. Yeah, okay. Okay, I need to increase this as fast as possible and race to the end. So I may have to start polluting, unfortunately, to reach that goal. The one with the highest emissions right now, oof, that's 5 emissions. This is 5 emissions. That's 3 points, though. What's left in the technology? There's carbon capture and enhanced energy output. Solar panel, okay. Maybe we do the carbon capture. Okay, so I think we're gonna figure out what we wanna buy with this and then buy this. So that is oil, coal, and gas fired. There's oil. Okay, I'm gonna do this one, I think, the oil industry. And I have to pay 4 for that. All right, there's 4. And I get oil industry. I'll put that down over here. You guys may not be able to see that. Oh, you can. Okay, cool. Emissions goes up by 5. 21. Oof. Okay, wonderful. And I get 5 on mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I get 3 prosperity. 1, 2, 3 from that. And now I will do the carbon capture technology for 4 and attach it to this. So I'll pay 4. And that will reduce project's emissions by 2. So that will make this go back by 2, 1, 2. And this will go back by 2, 1, 2. I'm still under 5, so I'm going to get my normal income. So I'm going to have that. With 6 left, I'm very tempted to... Let's see, oil, coal, and gas. Oil, coal, and gas. None of these are oil, coal, and gas. Is there something I can just get that would push me up even more? For 6. You know what? For 6, this is exactly 6. I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy this climate card for 6. And it just reduces player and global emissions by 2. So 1, 2, and 1, 2. We're down to 1. It's down to 17. Okay, we are on our way. We just have to make sure that the planet doesn't crash and burn while we're trying to do all this. The Atama is going to go, and he's going to remove cards 1 and 6. And from there, no technologies get removed. 3 emissions, so he's up to 20. And he gets 3 points. 1, 2, 3. All right, we're still on the 2 Roman numeral 2 deck. I just need to get here as quickly as possible before he outpaces me. Okay, so there's that oil industry card. I think first I have to earn my income. I'm at 22 plus max 2 is 24. All right, 5. There needs to be 10. Oh, there's a 10. That's 20. So I get 24. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to purchase this one. And that's for 4. So there's 4. That's going to attach to my carbon capture here, which is great. It's going to give me 3 prosperity. 1, 2, 3. And 5 emissions typically, but reduce that by 2 because of this technology. So it goes up by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. I'm still under 5 emissions, which is great. Okay, that's concerning. Let's go ahead and pull another, before this gets removed from the game. I'm going to spend 9 to play this climate card, which reduces emissions by player and global by 3. So, yep, I'm going to play that for 9, which I think I just paid. And that goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, keeping us nice and clean. All right. With 11 left, I think I want to purchase, I gotta purchase something. That's going to push me over. I need 5 more prosperity. Mixed use, that's 2 and 2. I think that's not a bad thing. This is 2. All of these are 2 prosperity. This is 4, and that's 5. Yeah, let's just do it. I'm going to buy the hospital for 5. That pushes my prosperity up by 2 and emissions by 1. And I need 3 more. Can I afford it? There's nothing out here that gives me 3 prosperity. Can I buy? This farm is 2 and is there something 4? So I could buy these 2, I think. All right, so let's do this in order. I'm going to buy this farm for 2 prosperity. That's going to give me 3 back. Okay, and this goes up by 1, and that goes up by 1, and this goes up by 1 as well. And I'm going to buy this for 4, which is my last 4 remaining money. And this goes up by 2, and this goes, oh, not that. This goes up by 2, that goes up by 2. Okay, so whenever I reach 30, according to the rule book, game ending condition, if you reach 30 prosperity, you and the NPC complete your turn for the round. So as long as the NPC does not push this over 30, I'm fine. So I'm going to ignore removing projects. It doesn't matter for endgame scoring for us. He removes a climate card. He bumps up the emissions by 2 and gets 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and that will end the game. Okay, and you lose automatically if you reach 30. Oh, okay, no, that's fine. Okay, so on the easy difficulty, it's just total prosperity as indicated by NPC's market. I'd have to go through his cards to figure out if he would have won on medium or hard difficulty. But hopefully this gives you a quick look into what this game is like, what's it about, and how it plays. Keep in mind, I have to stress that the game for single player and for 2 players and for 3+, and for normal and for the advanced game are different. And there are limitations for each of these modes, which are not, I don't think, organized very well in the rulebook. So if you think you are brave enough to try and get through all of this and understand, oh, is that 2 player? Oh, that's 1. Oh, no. For the 3+, this comes into play, but for 2 players, but the end game scoring for 1 player, 2, no. That was my experience in reading this rulebook. It's not a bad game. I like the message that it sends. The card's really nice. It has that Machi Koro art style feeling to it. I love the idea of, sort of sending that whole global warning message via, okay, this is what happens if you get a lot of prosperity, but you have to pollute to do it, and if the planet overheats, that's it. I wish there was more depth to it, though. Like, now that I've played a single player game, I feel like I'm missing out on stuff, and I have a feeling like that's where this stuff comes in. But in a 1 or 2 player game, there's no voting, there's no UN councils, there's no events, none of that is in here. So I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed. But that was One Earth, the board game. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Take care.